A man cheated on his wife with a female employee because they only had intimacy once a month. House is responsible for bringing in the money while his wife is stunningly beautiful. From the outside, it looks like the ideal lifestyle that many people dream of. However, only House knows that this is all just a facade. At home, my wife calls all the shots, and I thought I'd be living a pretty subservient life for the foreseeable future. But everything changed when a girl named Xiaomi walked into my life. Gorgeous, fair-skinned, tall, and with a sweet smile. Coincidentally, she was applying for a sales position, and luckily, we had an opening. I admit there was a bit of ulterior motive here. In the sales industry, experience is key, and Xiaomi was a complete blank slate with no prior work history. But my wife's no-touching rule left me completely defenseless when it came to women. My thinking was simple. Even if Xiaomi didn't have such eye candy around. What I didn't expect was that on her very first day, she snagged a big deal. In her excitement, she gave me a huge hug, and I felt on top of the world. Initially, I hired her just to enjoy the view, but now, not only was I getting a little benefit from it, but our company's performance was also improving. After that day, I couldn't help but wear a smile. I couldn't tell if it was because this was booming or because business Xiaomi's hug. My gut tells me it was the latter. As time went on, Xiaomi became bolder. She started getting touchy with me and even whispered sweet nothings during work hours. Ultimately found myself caught in a web of temptation. The couple was hosting a party at home that day. Originally, House didn't plan to invite Xiaomi, but to his surprise, she still showed up. But just as he entered the kitchen, he was caught off guard when Xiaomi followed him in and dropped a bombshell. "I'm pregnant." Hearing this, Hasi was stunned. He had no idea how to handle Xiaomi, let alone face his wife. So, she had to come up with an excuse about her stomach hurting and left in a hurry. When they met again the next day, things were definitely different. This Xiaomi said she didn't want to ruin House's existing life and family, but she was pregnant, and he had to take responsibility, right? House wasn't stupid. He immediately pulled out their 13,000 to settle things, but Xiaomi insisted he needed to pay more. Unable to bear the weight of his conscience any longer, House finally confessed to his wife that evening. After hearing him out, she calmly pulled out a family fund and asked him if he wanted a divorce. But that wasn't her intention. She posed the question partly to give their child a stable home and partly to avoid the embarrassment of having the news spread to outsiders. However, they needed to resolve the situation, and she made it clear that she wouldn't be paying a dime. Huge. Having grown up with a silver spoon in her mouth, she had met countless people throughout her life and could easily come up with any amount of money. But who could guarantee that this would be the last time for little Mage? So she decided to handle things her own way. But the following day, the wife had prepared a stash of sleeping pills and advised House to find a chance to slip them to Xiaomi. At 7 p.m. Xiaomi arrived at the furniture store to pick up the money, assuring them that once she got it, she would never bother them again, and they could go back to being strangers without any ties. House said the money wasn't an issue, but suggested they share a drink before finalizing the deal, to make it a clean break. Without thinking too much, Xiaomi lifted her glass and downed it in one go, unaware that the drink had been spiked. It didn't take long before she felt disoriented and completely passed out. Xiaomi is in for a rough time next. The two of them managed to bring her back home. The wife, well aware that someone as greedy as Xiaomi would likely try to take advantage again, knew they had to deal with her permanently to prevent any future problems. Without hesitation, she first placed Xiaomi on the cutting board, then calmly took off her jacket and changed into a waterproof outfit.